This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1209, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Happy Election Day, everybody. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, our managing editor, downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
And as we promised you on the last episode, no more politics. It's not going to come up at all. Hopefully you voted. Now we're done. Moving on. Jesse, what are you doing? What are you doing to celebrate the fact that we don't have to talk about politics anymore?
I mean, all we have to do now is just observe a peaceful transfer of power and civil discourse.
You're going there, don't.
And we don't have to address this again for 4 peaceful, prosperous years. By the way,
if you voted for my person, then that's right. If you didn't, then we're all
just
going to hell.
Just for context, we're recording this days before the election.
Days before. So we're just predicting. Oh my gosh, what if something like horrible happens on election day?
Don't say
and we're sitting
now.
here like joking around, and people are
I'm giving context. I'm speaking things into existence here. A prosperous, peaceful, great.
You and Jesse
years.
Duplantis. He's going to speak his new plane into existence. And Kenneth Copeland, you're speaking peace and prosperity. So
that's right.
We are recording live from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Everybody,
I'll take a plane as well, and a sweet pinstripe suit. You know, the older I get, the more those characters all look like 60s Batman villains in my mind.
Jesse, Kenneth Copeland has. I think Kenneth Copeland, remember that when the person confronted him in his airport hangar, came running up during COVID about his planes, and the reporter was like, how can you be a preacher and you're talking about planes? And he talked about how he can't fly commercial because there's demons in the tube. Yeah. And that's why he had to have his own plane. God told him. But have you watched any interviews or talks with Jesse Duplantis over the years?
I mean, not in a very long time.
Dude, Jesse Duplantis, I saw a whole thing where he and his wife were doing their show or whatever, and he was doing a fundraiser. He was trying to get people to give. He got talking about the fact, this went viral, that's why I saw it. I don't watch his show. He got talking about the fact that he owns the largest home in the state of Louisiana.
I don't think that's the flex he thinks it is. You know, especially if you're raising money. What am I donating for if you're telling me you're one of the wealthiest people in an entire state?
In a state? No, he's saying I have the biggest house in the state of Louisiana.
I think you're donating to be a stakeholder in the biggest house in Louisiana. That's what you're donating.
Or you're paying for its upkeep. I mean, I'm sure there's a pretty large staff required. I don't know. You know,
I've reflected on, we have a similar upbringing, Cameron. You know, we've both been degrees of proximity, closer at times to those types of individuals and religious institutions, when it comes to kind of that world of people who flaunt their wealth in a religious sense, know? And the more I think about it, just the more weird it is. And I try to avoid it because I saw something the other day about Ed Young and somebody approaching him, some documentary filmmaker about his housing allowance and how much he makes from. It's man, that is just such a strange world when you take an objective step back from it.
I saw a clip going around. This is ironic. We're talking about this. Maybe the algorithm influenced me and this is on my mind or something because I saw this clip last night. But there's an entrepreneur named David Meltzer. If you know Grant Cardone, that kind of, very big on social media, very inspirational business guy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a believer. Grant Cardone talks about being a believer too, but David Meltzer is a little bit more outspoken about his faith.
I thought Grant Cardone was, I thought he was a Scientologist. I could be wrong about that.
I think he's been talking about Jesus more. I don't know. I do know David Meltzer talks transparently. Earlier in his career, he went totally bankrupt. He lost $90 million. He had to rebuild his whole life. He lost everything, all this kind of stuff. And over that journey came to faith. And he talks about his faith pretty prominently. Anyway, he had a clip going around last night, and he's talking about that the person was talking about the tension between wealth and his Christianity. That Christianity teaches charity and selflessness and that the rich can't get in heaven, eye of a needle thing.
Yeah.
And he said, no, you're getting it all wrong. You don't understand. Historically, it's proven Jesus was very wealthy. He comes from a contractor family, and the contractors in the villages were among the most affluent. And so the way that Jesus was able to even go and not work for 3 years and was that he had so much wealth. And he even referenced like the type of robe Jesus wore and different things like that, talked about his social status and his wealth. Yeah. And he said, so Christianity is about what God wants you to be wealthy because you need to have those resources to be charitable or help others and things like that. So there's no tension between the two. And he had this whole theology about God wants you to be rich. And I was just like,
well, not just the theological gymnastics that takes.
I mean, gymnastics. That dude was tiptoeing the balance beam.
No, but also mad respect for coming up with your own like theology to get away with stealing money from people. Like he's dead wrong, but I gotta respect the hustle.
He doesn't steal money from people.
I mean, convincing people to like give him money, whatever it is.
Oh, no, he's not an evangelist. He's a business guy. I mean, he's like real estate investor. He's not Jesse Duplantis.
Sorry, I think I was thinking that, and it was like, I mean, whatever helps you sleep at night. Like,
well, they would say a similar theology, to be honest with you. Jesse and I went to school in Tulsa. We heard all the faith, name it and claim it, faith and prosperity messages. But there's like 3 scriptures that they really hone in on out of all of them. You know what I mean? Anyway.
And ignoring the fact that, Jesus was homeless. It literally said that he has no place to lay his head. Like I don't think he was all that wealthy. He didn't have a house.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk doesn't have a home. He's homeless. He just, stays wherever he wants to.
Yeah.
Jesus
other than that
Elon.
massive compound he's building outside of Austin to house his 11 children and their multiple mothers. I mean, that's happening too. But
Nick Cannon's dream world, man. Dream world.
Yeah, but either way. But speaking of wealthy stuff,
I was wondering if you were going to leave it there or if you were going to go where you were going to go.
This is going to be a top 5 transition for you.
Talking about tiptoeing the balance beam. Let's go.
Speaking of rich people stuff, I'm playing the local public golf course after we wrap this. I'm not playing at a country club, by the way. No offense, but I was telling for the listener, I was telling Cameron and Emily, after this wraps, I'm taking my 11-year-old son. They're out of school today. And we're going to go play 9 holes. And I'm very much looking forward to it. And both Emily and Cameron looked at me like, you play golf? Now, it's not like I'm a member of some like a club or whatever, but I play, probably 10 times a year. But this is not something you two ever do.
I think the last time I played golf was Wii golf back in like high school.
In college, we had to take a PE elective every semester.
You took golf?
2 years I took golf.
Yeah.
Because the Division I golf team was the coaches. You were learning real technique and all this stuff. But I took it because it was easy. And you didn't have to like run and stuff. Like there's the other PE classes you had to like exert physical effort. And golf, you just sat there at the driving range. It was pretty great. That was 20-something years ago. I have not touched a club since. So,
Emily, have you ever been out on the golf course?
I've been on a country club golf course because one of my friends worked there, but I was not playing.
So my son really likes all sports, and he really wanted to learn to play golf. And so I took him. The first time I took him out was probably 2 years ago when he was like 9. And again, this was a public course. It's not like we're rolling up to You don't
Southern have Hills to give us your everyman cred every time you mention you're playing golf.
I'm just stating for the context of this story. But I told him like, listen. No, half of playing golf, I would say more than half, is not actually playing the game. It's just observing the strange rules that, make up that world. Like Nate Bargatze has a joke, like he's like, people don't understand how much rules matter to people at golf courses. Like tee times are set at like 2:37, right? Like there's a precision to just the rules and etiquette happening there. And it starts with your interaction with the marshal. So for people who don't know, there's a marshal and a starter at every golf course. They're usually retired, the most grouchy, retired old guys you've ever seen. And their single purpose in life is enforcement of arbitrary rules of the golf course. And it you know, taking my son, that was basically all I did. It doesn't really matter how you play. It matters, one, if you look appropriate and you behave appropriate. Most of the people on the golf course the secret is they're terrible at golf. Even people who go all the time are absolutely awful. It's
really?
all about these. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a very difficult and a game to master, and especially these old guys. Like, they're not holding up well out there, guys. They, this is a social, like when you watch like Curb or whatever, there are dudes like that who just go every day. You think they'd be good. They're awful. The secret, so I told him, look, the secret
how can you do your 10,000 hours and not get good? Like, I don't understand that.
Go to any golf course on any day and just stand at a tee box and you'll see firsthand.
Well, I see the tee box where it's like, okay, but I just assume those are the guys who, like you, maybe play 5 times a year or whatever.
No.
Or you play more than that. But I mean, like, so they're just rusty on the first tee, but then they warm up and they do better later.
Have you ever watched one of those Pro-Am, like Tahoe tournaments?
No, I have a life.
They're really fun. Like Steph Curry's like really good. Whatever, Emily. But they have like,
she has a life, meaning she was watching Love is Blind season 7 and binging it instead of watching golf.
You were watching that one. I was not.
But you look excellent. Cameron, to answer your question, you ever seen Charles Barkley at one of those things?
Yeah, he's awful.
That is a guy who spends the entirety of his free time playing golf, and he's getting worse, actually. He's actually... And that's the big secret to this game, is if you just look right and talk right, you can be totally awful at it and still have a good time. So
the problem is I'm tangentially somewhat interested because I live two blocks from a historic golf course, Dubstrid. Yeah. Like back in the day, Sam Snead won the PGA Championship there. 800 years old now. Like they're anyway. It's right there. It's right there. So there's a lot of people in my neighborhood that have golf carts and stuff, And I was like, maybe Cohen and I need to go and hit some golf balls. I mean, literally it's right there. We could walk to it.
But what I'm saying is,
and so like I started like, maybe I should, right? So the algorithm knew that somehow, got in my brain, and started showing me golf TikToks.
Yeah.
And I started watching them. And it's like, okay, I could get back in the flow of this.
Easy. How hard could it be?
How hard could it be? So
all you got to do is look right and act like you know what you're doing. And it doesn't matter if you duff it every time, because most people do. By the way, this reminds me of the hardest I've laughed at anything. You guys know me. I love the internet. But I don't like interacting with people on the internet. I just like funny videos. Okay.
That's valid.
I always have. I was crying the other day at a video that I stumbled across. I can't remember. I think it was on X, or it's one of the platforms where they'll serve few short videos. And it was someone who just goes to golf courses. Okay. The other thing too, like I said, rules. People take golf very seriously. They pay a lot of money to be out there. They dress, He drives up and parks pretty close to a tee box, right? And he just parks his car on a road. A lot of tee boxes are right off the street, And he parks there. And as soon as someone is in their backswing, he blasts the horn. Okay.
Oh, I saw that.
And then the people look over and he's like, sorry. And then they go to tee it up again. And he does it a second time.
And these old men like come charging at him after a while. They're so mad. They're cursing him out.
It made me, I watched it so many times and it made me want to go do it. It
it's
made me
think,
a
mean prank. Why do you like mean pranks?
Because it is objectively hilarious.
Those men were just trying to enjoy their golfing time. And this guy is like giving them a heart attack. They were feeble.
Listen, it is absolutely harmless. It made me think, what would be a more fun afternoon with my son? To go play golf or to go beep the horn at people on tee boxes? And I almost went the tee box route. Like
that does feel more your speed than you playing golf.
You are one of the most selfless, loyal, wonderful friends. You care so deeply about
He's
others.
about to say something so bad about you because he is really lifting you up.
I'm
here.
ready. I'm ready.
You care so deeply about others. I mean, it gives you anxiety and stress if your friends and family aren't okay. You are one of the kindest, most loyal, wonderful people I know. I do not understand the sick, perverted side of you that loves pranks. It doesn't make sense. It's oil and water. The person who has this heart liking to inflict panic on other people or stress on other people makes no sense.
Let me explain it because I've interrogated this about myself because I do find it the funny.
Therapy helps, by the way.
I do find it the funniest thing in the world. It's because of a super high stakes emotional reaction to something very low stakes, right? Like it's my favorite kind of comedy. Like it's why Seinfeld is still like my favorite show. You know, like the entirety of an episode is based on
she ate peas with a fork.
Yeah, exactly. Why does she wear the same clothes every day? Like. It's very high stakes. Like that's all these people.
He ended a relationship, but they tried to decipher it. Was it the laundry cycle, the end of one cycle, and the beginning of the next? No, it's 3 days in a row now. Like it's like an entire.
It's the same
episode.
thing with Curb. It's the same formula that Curb falls, right?
Yeah.
And that's why a prank like that is so funny because the emotional reaction is so disproportionate to what happened. Like what happened is someone beeped the horn and he had a bad golf swing. Tee another one up. You'll be fine. You know, the world's not ending. Okay. The round's going to go on. You got 18 more holes. Someone ruined one of your shots. Big deal. To see someone flip out and lose their mind over something that is absolutely inconsequential, I get delight. That is what a prank is. It's like there's nothing actually bad happening, but this person's going to freak out. It's just a beautiful thing. It is the height of comedy, in my opinion. Because I've thought about it.
I love your appreciation for the simple things of life. It's very sweet.
Life can be overcomplicated.
Did you like Impractical Jokers? Is that your vibe?
I don't. The only reason I like I
never watched it because I don't like prank shows. I don't like putting people through duress for no reason, for my amusement. I'm laughing at you, not with you. I do not like that. That's bully tactics. I don't like it.
I like the idea of Impractical Jokers, but those particular performers irritate me because they laugh at their own joke. I don't feel like they're good at what they do. Like I feel like they break too often. I feel like if you're going to do a prank, you got to stick with it. The one, and I haven't watched the reboot yet. Let me preface this. But old school Scare Tactics, where Tracy Morgan was the host. Did you guys ever watch Scare Tactics?
No, I don't like any of this.
It was
stuff.
on the Sci-Fi Channel. Did you watch it, Emily?
Who has the Sci-Fi
I think I've seen a
channel?
few episodes.
Okay, so here, Cameron, they just rebooted it and released a new season on Peacock. Okay, so it was a franchise that ran in like the mid-aughts on the Sci-Fi Channel. And this is the whole conceit of the show. They take a horror movie scenario, right? And drop an unsuspecting person into it. Okay. So like usually involves someone like responding to like a temp agency job or something like, hey, we need you to go to this place and you got to help with this or that, you know? And they're like driving to the location and the car just like breaks down on a country road. And this the Mark doesn't know the car's like outfitted with cameras and stuff, and like creepy children wearing like clothes from the 1800s just walk out of the cornfield. You know what I mean? And like start surrounding and it is. I mean, you see people like fake alien stuff, zombie invasions, like real people in the most ridiculous horror movie scenarios. I got to tell you, it's one of my favorite shows of all time, Scare Tactics.
Do you enjoy the Magic prank show on Netflix? Did you ever watch it?
I did. I will say
this. Because it's magic, which you love, and pranks, which you love. I watched a couple episodes. I thought Jesse would like this, and then I lost interest. But
that was the thing. I felt like the execution, the idea was better than the execution. Like it took a long time for the payoff in that show.
A long time.
Where it's just like, don't bore us. Get us to the chorus. Let's get to the next one. You know what I mean? That was like why Jackass was so great. They crammed like in a 2-hour movie, you get like 50 awesome pranks. You know what I mean?
Those aren't pranks. Those are just guys
Some of them were pranks.
jumping over sharks and getting bitten and stuff.
No, the old school. See, that's the thing. I like the pranks better than the stunts. Like old school was like Johnny Knoxville driving a Hertz, and he parks at a intersection that's on an incline, and the back opens up and the coffin goes out, and there's a guy in there, and he's like frantically in the middle of a live intersection trying to load a body into a coffin into the back of the Hertz while he's wearing like the tuxedo. It's a great prank. It just is.
There's no victims. There's no victims. I don't mind victimless pranks. It's just a funny, weird thing that I'm watching happen. That's
How
fine.
did you feel about Punk'd, like the MTV show Punk'd?
See, victims. You're punked. You're made a fool of. I don't like that one.
But you didn't mind because it was like it felt like some of those celebrities were getting kind of like especially if the celebrity was shown kind of being a jerk before the prank started.
Knock them down to size. So you like people getting put in their place, like
well, that's the thing. Like if whoever rolls up to the restaurant valet and they're like, "Yo, don't scratch it, man," and then they go into the restaurant and then Ashton Kutcher like brings out a replica of the car that is absolutely demolished, and you watch the celebrity have a meltdown. It's like you deserved it. It was coming at you. Like I didn't mind that. That's like that show was more about accountability to me. I think after that show came out. I think after a couple seasons of that show, I think celebrities started acting a lot nicer to people out in the streets because they never knew if this was a setup. Like it held them accountable.
I do think it did change celebrity culture because everyone was like, "Am I going to be punked? Like I have to be nice now."
I was about to say Ashton Kutcher was doing the Lord's work, but he was hanging out with a lot of problematic people during that era. So
yeah. Well, my opinion is in the vacuum of Punk'd, I think he did a service. I'm not saying anything outside of that, but it's like Punk'd was like,
how are 3 of your best friends in jail right now for serial crimes?
Again, I'm very concerned about the whole situation, but I'm just saying, like, but here's what Punk'd is. Punk'd was like an unmarked police car that is occasionally sitting out on the corner, right? You don't know when it's going to be there, when it's not, but around that corner, you should probably pump the brakes. That's what it did for celebrity culture interacting with randos out in the world. They never knew, like, if I'm behaving badly and treating people poorly, Ashton Kutcher could be running out of the bushes right now, and I'm going to look like an idiot in front of everybody. So maybe I should just act like a nice person. That's
really funny. Yeah, the ones that looked like really bad, like I'm like, why did you sign the waiver after this? You know that this was a bad look for you. Like, why did you let him air it? But,
yeah, exactly. I don't feel too bad about it.
All right. Well, we have a great show coming up. Emily talks to Chad Veach, a pastor in LA. They just dedicated their new church building out there. Good for them. Really excited for him. Love Chad. He's been a long time friend of the show, friend. I was at a meeting. I was at some meetings in Atlanta this week, and it was funny. We were having dinner, and there was like 5-6 people, and we were just all, we all knew each other, but whatever. But not everybody knew each other. I kind of knew everybody, and I was like, "Oh, you're in LA? Oh, he's in LA." It turns out they all go to Chad Veach's church. Like literally 4 people at this table all went to Chad Veach's church and did not know that about each other. So.
Sounds like a big church. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they have multiple campuses, and it's LA. Do you go every week?
I know that's supposed to be a compliment, but it kind of sounds like it's a problem at that church.
No, there's multiple campuses.
They've all been going to the same church for years. Had no clue.
Well, again, LA crowds. Do you go 4 weeks a month, or do you go once every 2 months? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I go to that. I go to Zoe Church. When was the last time you went? June. But I go.
You're saying LA church attendance is like California sober. Like, there's some exceptions.
Yeah, I go. Here. When was the last time you went? I went 3 times this year. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. At least you went 3 times. Okay. So Chad's coming up. Sorry, Chad.
I'm sure you're going to love that intro.
Great shepherd of your flock. Sorry, man. It's not your fault. It's LA. Okay. Stay tuned. After the break, it slices. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only 1 surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Tim Tebow's book, Look Again. Have you ever wondered what would change if you truly believed you were infinitely valuable to God? In his New York Times bestselling book, Look Again, Tim Tebow reveals the powerful truth that when we learn to see the image of God in every person, including those we struggle to love, everything changes. Tebow shares incredible stories from his work with people the world often overlooks, and it will challenge you to stand up to the lies, rediscover the worth that everyone has, and impact the world for good. Find Look Again by Tim Tebow, available now wherever books are sold. Okay, it's time for
Slices.
What do you have, Jesse?
All right. So this story interested me, but I have another question I want to follow up with you guys coming out of this story. So you guys are probably aware, most people on the internet are aware of a problem. I'm not a big McDonald's frequenter. I got no beef with McDonald's, no pun intended.
I was going to say, is this an arsenic reference or something?
I have no opinion. It just, if I'm going fast food, I'm going Taco Bell. It's just who I am. But either way, there is, as McDonald's frequenters know, and people on the internet probably are aware of, there's been a big problem with the McFlurry machines there constantly being out of service. So much so that there's a website dedicated to mapping McFlurry outages. So if you really want one, you can go to this website and make sure the one you're going to is actually functional.
It's not just McFlurries. It's also ice cream cones and
soft serve. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole ice cream machine, is it working? Yes or no?
Yeah.
McBroken.com. I've referenced it many times.
And so one of
bookmarked?
No, I can remember it. The few times a year that I need to check it out, I can type in McBroken.com.
That you need to check it out. I got to find out about this ice cream situation.
I mean, honestly, I go and had some friends over the other night, and late night, it was after all the cool ice cream shops were closed. We have some 24-hour McDonald's. It's like, if y'all want some ice cream, we can go do a McDee's run. But I pulled up McBroken.com just to make sure. I didn't want to waste the time.
Yeah.
If it was, and the one closest to me was down, so we went to one a little further away.
Well, part of the reason for this ongoing national nightmare is because McDonald's has long, since the 1950s, worked with a company called Taylor Company for their soft serve machines. And part of their agreement, and it actually has something to do with like copyright, is that only that company is allowed to service the machines. It was just the law. And but recently, the U.S. Copyright Office has overturned that policy after advocacy from a group called Public Knowledge fought for legislation called the right to repair. Now it's passed, which means that, this mainly affects most of these kind of agreements happen like in the food service industry. Mm-hmm. So this gives them the legal right to repair machines and not it be some sort of proprietary service that they have to agree to in some sort of licensing agreement. Obviously, I think if you own something, you should be able to do whatever you want with it. But beyond like ice cream machines, aren't there like laws and stuff about like jailbreaking iPhones and kind of, don't you feel like that should apply, that same line of thinking should apply to consumer devices?
So Emily can speak to this. If you notice, the lawsuit is iFixit was one of the people who brought the lawsuit, organizations that brought the lawsuit. iFixit was one of the repair shops for iPhones and tech that when Apple has a law that says you can't replace the battery, or if you replace this part of the screen, it'll void the warranty for the owner and all these things. So they can't upgrade and all these, whatever. iFixit and other tech repair shops brought this class action lawsuit. And then the food service industry jumped in on it with the, these same sorts of restrictions and stuff like that. Emily, I brought up this same point to Emily because when she wrote it and I was editing it before it went live, I was like, but shouldn't we talk about the tech too? And Emily, speak to this. You told me that, no, this ruling wasn't blanket. This was specifically limited to ice cream machines and food service stuff, and that the tech stuff is somehow separate.
Yeah. So there's this big lawsuit that's been brought forth, and it is still in the process. Like iFixit said that they are still trying to get the law changed so that they can, like, these tech repair companies can fix,
right to repair.
Apple stuff, but yeah, right now, for whatever reason, the Copyright Office only made a change for food service industries
for ice cream machines.
Priorities.
So now I am fully convinced.
Every person in the world has an iPhone, but no, we got to fix those McDonald's.
I'm fully convinced the lawmakers were like, I don't care about iPhones. I need a McFlurry anytime I want one. And that's why they made this a priority.
I'm picturing it's some like old curmudgeonly senator who pulled up to a McDonald's one night just dying for his McFlurry. Exactly. And when he didn't get it, was like, all right, you have the wrath of the United States government coming down on you. No, yeah. I do. But it was like back in the day where I guess now that streaming services has kind of made this a moot point, but like I understand laws prohibiting the sharing of copyrighted material, but like, if you're just burning, like back in the day, if you're just burning a CD that you owned or like making a copy of a VHS and you're not selling it or distributing it, it doesn't seem like that's a crime. I mean, again, a lot of that stuff's kind of irrelevant now because of streaming and, just how the content business has changed. But I think if you own something, you own it. Like you bought it, you should be able to do whatever you want, in my opinion.
Y'all, I need to tell you something. McBroken.com. So they've evolved McBroken.com since I was there even a few weeks ago. There's a list on the right.
Last emergency.
There's a list on the right now. Currently broken nationwide, 14.72% of McDonald's ice cream machines are currently broken. And then they break it down by cities. In New York City, 32% of the ice cream machines are broken. San Antonio, 20%, and it goes down. Okay, so it's a map. If you have never been there, if it's a map and you see red and green dots all over your city, and this is the location of a McDonald's on the left-hand side, it gives the actual address and it tells you green or red dot. Is it working or not? Is the McDonald's ice cream machine broken or not? And I can see next to me, out of the 9 closest to me, 3 are broken and 6 are not. Okay, great. And then it sees it on a map. But the thing that they've added is all over the map now. They mark with little logos all the Wendy's locations. And now there's a Wendy's banner ad at the top of the website. So if you're there and your machine is broken, well, there's a Wendy's with a working Frosty machine right down the road. And you can see it right here on the McBroken app now. Good for Wendy's. That is brilliant.
How did they get in on that deal?
They probably bought or paid a ton of money to McBroken.com. I don't know. But like literally there's a little legend on the bottom left of the map and it says like green, working, red, broken, gray, inconclusive, logo, Wendy's. And so like literally there's just Wendy's all over your city.
Why didn't Wendy's just make their own? I have so many questions now for Wendy's.
This is brilliant. Go to McBroken.com for yourself and look at it. I love this. This is great. It's like, you know what? I am in the mood for a Frosty.
There needs to be some enterprising young pop journalist that does like the Gladwellian thing and like looks at clusters of broken McFlurry machines and tries to find some correlative social science and be like, the closer proximity you are to clusters of broken ice cream machines, the slower your mail gets to you. Here's why. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, I didn't realize this. Somebody's got to be tracking this and looking at larger social patterns here.
I mean, I can't think of what else could be more pressing than figuring that out.
Yeah, it seems like the number one issue we need to think about right now.
Now that we're done with politics, we can get to what really matters, which is cracking down on the McFlurry machine. Yes.
Yeah, church attendance plummets in areas where McFlurry machines constantly offline. Now we know why.
They have no faith in God.
Yeah, I can see.
It's a godless city. We have no ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot on the site right now. We have a shockingly higher number of Wendy's in our area than I realized.
Yeah.
Ton of Wendy's.
I hope McDonald's and Wendy's send you a check for how much you are promoting them right now.
Me too. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take it. All right. What do you have, Emily?
I'm kind of leaning into my celebrity obsession this week because there's 2 celebrity stories that I've been thinking about that I want to talk about because I've spent too much time thinking about them. The first one is, did y'all see last weekend the Timothée Chalamet lookalike contest in New York City?
I saw references to it, but
it got shut down and moved because they never pulled a permit.
Yes. Yeah. So for anyone who wasn't on the internet last weekend because it's all I saw for like 2 days. In New York, someone had been putting posters up for weeks about a Timothée Chalamet lookalike competition. There was a $50 prize, obviously just like a silly thing. I'm not kidding. Thousands of people showed up to this event to see Timothée Chalamet lookalikes, including Timothée Chalamet himself.
But wait.
But he was just like in the crowd, right? He just
he wore like a mask to like part through the crowd. Like, I don't want to compare it to like Moses parting the Red Sea, but there are videos where it does look like that. Once people recognize Timothée Chalamet is actually at a Timothée Chalamet lookalike competition, that like
he was wearing
parts.
Please explain. He had a mask on. Are we talking about a mask like that guy of like what's the show? This weird skit show. You made it loud. You made it. What was it?
Oh, I think you should leave.
I think you should leave. Yeah. Where he's wearing the mask in the middle of the mall. He ends up like losing all desire to leave. Is that what Timothée looked like?
No. It was like a COVID face mask. Like that's all it is. Whatever. But there's so many.
I thought maybe he had like a Spirit Halloween Timothée Chalamet mask on.
I wish. No, he just had like a hat and then like the mask on. But it's like there's so many other Timothée Chalamet lookalikes there that no one thought anything of it. And then he takes his mask off at one point, and people are like, "Oh, the actual Timothée Chalamet has showed up to this."
Or the world's best lookalike. Who would have thought it was the real one?
But wait.
We're at a lookalike thing, and this guy really looks like him. Why would anybody think the real guy was there?
Here's my you said it was shut down.
Yeah, well, police came because the organizers didn't pull any permits, and there was too many people, and so they had to end up at a bar
so there was
later.
An arrest at the Timothée Chalamet lookalike competition. That is a real thing that happened. That's so funny.
I hope nothing would make me more happy than that going to the Supreme Court. And that person saying the federal government should not be able to dictate how many Timothée Chalamet lookalikes shall have the freedom to assemble.
Yeah, peaceful assembly.
Will. This is constitutionally. I am constitutionally protected to bring as many Timothée Chalamet lookalikes together whenever I want.
Do you have to pull permits to have like a protest rally? Why do you have to pull a permit to have a Timothée Chalamet rally?
I think there were so many people that showed up that it was like disrupting traffic in the
area. That's what protests do too. They don't get arrested if it's peaceful.
The freedom of assembly, the right to assemble is one of the primary, isn't constitutionally protected.
Yeah. It's not freedom to assemble as long as it's not about Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. This is an outrage.
Listen, I'm on y'all's side. I'm just saying, I think it's like,
I think the ACLU has a new cause they need to take up.
I think what's also really funny is the kid that got arrested. Obviously someone interviewed him. And he was like, yeah, my mom found out after I got arrested. Like she found out online that he had been arrested because it was going around, and she like saw the pictures and was like, oh, well, there's my son getting arrested for starting a Timothée Chalamet lookalike competition.
Good for him. And I think we need to fight to protect this patriot against the comrades shutting down. Because let me read the First Amendment of the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly. People have the right to peacefully assemble and freedom to petition. It's one of the top 5.
But maybe
there's no asterisk about Timothée Chalamet.
Maybe we're getting it wrong. Maybe this is a Willy Wonka situation, because Willy Wonka, there was one person who won a prize, but everybody else had a gruesome outcome. So maybe to be like Wonka, they were like, one of you will win, but if you aren't good enough to win, you will be arrested. Maybe that was like the consequence.
Maybe, yeah. If you don't win, you get arrested. I don't know. The prize, was $50 and a massive trophy.
I can't wait. Fast forward 15 years in the future, and there's like a prestige film, and the climactic moment of the film is this young Timothée Chalamet lookalike testifying in front of the Supreme Court about the right to assemble.
It's like an Aaron Brockovich type
movie,
legal case.
Ironically, he will be played by Timothée Chalamet in the greatest role of his lifetime.
I would love
a role he was born to play.
Quite literally born to play.
It would be funny that like if there is like a butterfly effect from this random thing that happened. Like I think it would be hilarious. I bring this up though because someone pointed out that like there was a time where just like silly things like this used to happen. Like something would get posted online and there'd be these silly meetups and stuff. And I think we should get back to that, because I had a great time liking every single post I saw on Twitter about the Timothée Chalamet competition. Mind you, I haven't been to New York in years, but I was seeing it all over the place. I thought it was really funny.
But see, New York is wonderful because they do stuff like this a lot. Like, do you remember, like, it was like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, a guy posted a notice on a street lamp, and he said, "Come watch me eat a big jug of cheese puffs at this date and time." And literally like 1,000 people showed up and sat there, and he like stood up on a curb and he ate one of those Costco sized barrels of cheese puffs and just ate it, and everybody cheered every time he ate one, and he ate it, and then the New Yorkers disassembled and went about their day. I was just
People
great. I love
yearn
it.
for silly little live events, and we need to champion that more.
I love
That's
it.
my hot take.
I
This
agree.
summer, Timothée Chalamet in a movie about a guy who looks like Timothée Chalamet.
It just, everything about it is like, it feels like a fever dream, but in the best way.
Like he runs out of the Supreme Court, like holding, for some reason, it's like a paper verdict in his hand and then an American flag waving. And at the stair steps of the Supreme Court are all these other guys who look like Timothée Chalamet, just, chanting freedom. I could see this film. It's going to win a lot.
I love it. All right. Is there any other slices? Because there was just two of y'all.
I did actually have another celebrity story that I've been thinking about. A different tone, but something that I haven't seen many people report on. We reported on it at the site, and I think we should talk about it more. So you guys know Anna Kendrick, the actress. I mostly know her from Pitch Perfect. I know neither of y'all refuse to watch one of the greatest movies ever made. But
wait, she's like the redhead who sings a lot. Is that right?
I've seen
it's a
Pitch
horrible
Perfect.
description, but yeah.
I've seen it, but it's been a long time.
I
Okay,
get her
thank
and
you,
Anne
Jesse.
Hathaway mixed up. So I was just clarifying the
Yes.
picture in my head is
Yes.
Anna Kendrick. Got it. Okay.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so she's an actress, but she just had her first directorial debut, a movie called Women of the Hour, which is like a thriller crime thriller crime movie based on the real life events of a serial murderer from the 70s.
It's on Netflix. They've been playing that a lot. Yeah.
But it's about this guy, the dating game killer, who, while in the middle of a murder spree, did go on a dating game show. And that's kind of ended up how he got caught. A crazy thing. The reason I bring this up is because
Whoa. You spoiler alert. He got caught because he was on the game show? I didn't know that.
Okay, first off, the story's been out for 50 years, so we can't use spoiler alert.
Well, I'm just saying you're telling me new information I didn't know. I had heard the premise that a guy who later turned out to be a serial killer had earlier in his life been on a dating game show. That's how I understood it. You're saying in the middle of his killing spree, he went on a national dating game show and got caught because of that.
Not on the show, but yeah, like things happened after that led to his arrest after the show. Yeah.
What an idiot.
Yeah. He was bold. I'll give him that. But anyways, the reason I bring
this
this
up. Back in the early 2000s, Ashton Kutcher would have brought him down to size. He would have put him in his place. He was getting a little too big for his britches. You know what I'm saying?
He was. But the reason I bring this up, because we don't really cover like true crime stuff like this, but Anna Kendrick did something really interesting, which is that she did not make a dime off this movie. When she sold it, she obviously got money. And she said that once she realized there was going to be money exchanging hands, she felt really gross about it. So she donated all of the money to organizations that help victims of violent crime. And I've been thinking about it a lot because there's so much true crime content right now that people are profiting off someone else's traumatic stories. And I think this is a really good thing that she's doing, and I would love to see more of it. And I just want people to be aware of that. I don't know.
That's
I just think it's a
actually
cool
really
thing.
cool. I had no idea, but you're right. Like I was watching on a road trip recently. I was watching that Netflix documentary about the Zodiac killer. It's also out recently. And it's dark and it's icky and stuff like that. But I'm like, a production company is profiting off these gruesome murders. And like, I just feel gross about this. Like, I don't want to enable this machine to profit off a tragedy, you know? So I love what you're pointing out. It's great.
Yeah. And there's a movie that came out years ago, starring Philip Seymour Hoffman, where he plays Truman Capote.
Yeah.
And Truman Capote.
What was it called?
It was called In Cold Blood.
Okay.
And it told I believe it was called In Cold Blood. I know that's the name of the book that Truman Capote wrote about.
I think the film was called Capote, and I was making a joke by saying,
well, I think In Cold Blood maybe
it is. It was called Capote. So anyway, okay.
Yeah. but all that to say, it told
he played Truman Capote. Yeah, what was the movie called?
Capote.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
But either way, the Truman Capote was a well-known writer at the time, but hadn't really dabbled in true crime until he came across this story of this really gruesome murder. And the story of him writing that book, not only getting close to the killers personally, but sort of the tension between potentially exploitive story that is being sold because it's so sensational and gruesome. Is something that they wrestle with in that. And I think when you look at modern true crime, a lot of people kind of, because Truman Capote, like I said, he was kind of a gadfly journalist and just kind of stumbled on something. And you kind of see that coming full circle now. You see a lot of people who never really aren't crime journalists jump in to, I mean, you see it with, what's the famous producer that's doing like the Menendez brothers
Ryan
stuff
Murphy.
now? Yeah, like Ryan Murphy. Now Ryan Murphy is sort of
he did OJ.
That.
He's doing
a lot of true crime stuff, and it's he's
dark stuff.
He's benefiting off that, and as far as we know, he's not but
he's winning awards from it. I mean, literally,
and it once Anna Kendrick, when she pointed it out to me, I was like, it makes so much sense that if you're gonna make a story off someone's, especially traumatic, if you're gonna make a movie about someone's really traumatic story, you should be doing something to benefit either them or people who resonate with this story. That just feels like the right thing to do in this case.
I agree. Not that they can't get paid for their time, but profit, the art should make a positive impact, not just be sensational.
There are laws that prohibit the actual perpetrators of the crime from profiting off of it through true
book deals and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah. But I think her saying just her describing I felt gross thinking about taking money about this, profiting off people. I want more people to have that mindset of just be aware of what you're doing.
I like it. Yeah. Good, Anna. She's a little bubbly for me, but
I've always been a fan. I've always thought she was,
Didn't she do a Christmas movie on
she was in
Apple
Noelle.
TV Plus? Yeah, Noelle. It was lovely. It was nice.
Yeah. She was great in another, I mean, this is from years ago, but I felt like this was a movie I was like, wow, she's a really great actress, was Up in the Air with George Clooney.
I do love that one a lot.
It's a fantastic movie.
She was in that? Oh, I'm thinking of The Airport. Yeah. What was Up in the Air?
George Clooney, he's a fire.
He's the salesman kind of person. Oh, he fires people. That's what it was.
People, yeah.
He's like a corporate raider.
Yeah. She was in that. Who was she in that?
She was the main woman in it.
Yeah. And the film is really about the juxtaposition about someone at a point in life where he thinks he's got it all figured out, but he's totally alone. And his life is traveling and career, and he's foregone family because and then she plays someone who's at the cusp of being able to make that decision of, does she want to pursue a life that is solely dedicated to her career, or does she want to veer and maybe be more, family?
Was she the person that he kind of caught feelings for, but they were
no, that was a different actress.
Okay,
that was
gotcha.
That was another.
Did she break out into song at any point?
She did.
She does more than just singing.
Do birds and butterflies land on her shoulders at any point in the movie?
She did get her start in Twilight. So
wait, what? I never saw Twilight. What did she do in Twilight? Was she a vampire?
No, she just was one of the high school students that was friends with the main girl.
That had a crush on the vampires or the werewolves?
No, she didn't have a crush on the vampires.
Was she at the shirtless baseball game in the woods? Was she cheering anybody on?
And to clarify, no one was shirtless. I've seen that scene
many times. What are you
talking
about? I thought it was.
No, they made a parody of of Twilight, and I think they were shirtless in that one.
I'm going to call Taylor Lautner and see if they were shirtless, because I think they were.
When you call Taylor Lautner, please tell him I say hi, and I don't know. We'll figure something else out.
I love my favorite Taylor Lautner fact is that he has a podcast with his wife, and it's hosted by Taylor Lautner and Taylor Lautner. I just love that Taylor Lautner is married to Taylor Lautner.
No, I think it's very funny.
Emily, can you see what's on my phone?
Yeah, and I can't see the number. I need you to adjust the settings on the screen so I can see his phone number.
I probably shouldn't do that. Okay, this is why we don't go to video, because
someone will find
somebody will text him. All right, here we go. Stay tuned after the break. Chad Veach joins us. Chad knows Taylor. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by John Mark Comer's book, Garden City, a book that speaks to the tension we all feel between work, rest, and purpose. The New York Times best-selling author John Mark Comer takes us to the scriptures to identify what it really means to be human and flips the script on the idea that who you are matters, not what you do. He shows that God created us for meaningful work and meaningful rest. Both matter. This book helps you ask and answer the big questions. Does God care where I work? Is there a direction for my life? So you can discern God's heart for your calling, your rhythms, and the way His Spirit wants to shape every part of your life. If you're longing for purpose and a more grounded way to live, check out the new hardcover edition of Garden City wherever books are sold. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Erwin McManus's book, The Barbarian Way. Some books don't just inspire you, they confront you. The Barbarian Way, now celebrating its 20th anniversary, is one of those books. If you felt the pull of God towards something deeper and wilder than the safe, predictable version of faith that we settle for, McManus reminds us that following Jesus was never meant to be tamed. It's meant to awaken courage, passion, and purpose God placed inside us. He draws from the wild stories of Abel, Noah, Moses, Rahab, and others to remind us that following God wasn't meant to be tame. Safe faith isn't working. Step into the story God is writing for you. Choose passion, choose boldness, choose the Barbarian Way. Available now wherever books are sold. Well, our guest today is Chad Veach. He's the pastor of Zoe Church in Los Angeles and author of books like Worried About Everything Because I Pray About Nothing, and his latest book, I Bet You Think This Book Is About You. We sat down with him to tackle pride and humility and why it's something Christians today can't ignore. Here's our conversation with Chad Veach.
Well, let's define some terms here before we get started. What exactly is pride and humility, and what do they look like in our lives?
Well, let's start with the positive, because I think we're so incentive-based. As a culture, we love to look at what could I get or what's in it. What is humility to me is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking less about yourself. So it's not minimizing your grace or your gifting, your talent. One of the things we talk about in the book is that humility is an accurate view of yourself. So I can still see myself as like, wow, I have gifting, I have influence, I have authority, and not minimizing that. I think pride allows you to drink in that stuff to make it about you or your gift or your beauty or whatever. I think when I have an accurate view of myself, I realize my resources, but I don't weaponize them for me. I can use them for the good of others. So I think humility is such a big deal. Pride, on the other side, pride is arrogant, conceited, it's cocky, it thinks it's better than others. To me, this is the root of racism. Racism is steeped in pride because it thinks it's better than somebody else. And so I think we have to be careful to identify there is arrogance in me, which is self-reliant, believes in myself so much that I can do it, I can make it happen. I'm self-built, I'm self-made. All of those things are very dangerous. Humility honors God. It says, God, I don't have anything without you. You blessed me. You gave me talent. You gave me opportunity. You gave me creative ideas. And so I think we got to understand what this side is versus that side.
feel like there's a fine line between confidence and pride. How do we know when we're crossing that line?
Well, in that the question, and the problem is, this is what I've realized. I'm too old to question your motives. I've got enough going on with this guy to try and wrestle down your intentions. So I don't know when you struggle with it, but I know when I struggle with it. So only me and the Holy Spirit know when I'm doing things for me and mine and to get and to. I know, God knows, and if I don't know, God will tell me. And so I think just understanding our motives and washing our intentions clean will help us go so far in life. And to me, that's what all of this book is about, is going like, let's look inside. What drives you and why? Why are you motivated by that? Why do you post that? Why do you want to be seen with them? What is the intention of all this stuff? And getting down to the true identity of who we are, because then I think we'll have the power to move forward.
What are maybe some questions we can ask ourselves to keep our hearts in check?
Well, I think, that's a great question. I think the questions we need to be asking ourselves is like, why do you do this? What is your intention? What are your true motives, if you're being honest? What are you looking to get out of it? We need to I think most people struggle being honest with others because they're not honest with themselves. And we have to get more real with ourselves. I heard someone say recently, Tom Brady was talking about in this era of his life, he's trying to check in with himself more to see how he's doing. And when he said that, I thought that's really good language. I don't think a lot of us check in with ourselves to find out what's driving all of this. What is motivating me? And I think, we can look and go, wow, I wanted to make that money, not so that I could use it to glorify God or kingdom purpose or to build the house of God. I wanted to make that money just for me and mine and what I can get. And I think if we live our whole life taking, we're gonna live really empty. What's crazy about humility is humility humbles ourselves under God and unlocks and releases us into our full potential. And if you watch humility actually allows us to serve and to give and to encourage. And we start living out, not in. And we start living fulfilled. They come to Jesus one time and they're like, Jesus, you have to be hungry. Like you got to be hungry. And he's like, guys, I have food that you don't even know about. My food is doing the will of the Father. When you humble yourself and you're in the will of the Father and you live for God's glory, not your own, there's a satisfaction that pride could never deliver. So I think we got to watch out for these characteristics of selfishness, selfish gain, wanting our own name to be known and promoted more than God's. We got to watch these hidden agendas that are lurking in our crazy evil heart. One of my favorite verses right now is Jeremiah 17, when Jeremiah says to God, God, the heart is wicked and deceitful above all things. Who can understand it? So we live in this culture that's like, follow your heart. What's your heart telling you? Do what's in your heart. And I'm like, no, don't. Stop. Please stop. That's what's killing you.
What would you say it looks like for the Big C Church to walk in humility every day?
Well, think about one of God's great promises. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, seek my face. Can't seek God if you're filled with pride. Humble themselves, seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways. When I humble myself, I turn away from my sin. He said, then I will hear from heaven, I'll forgive their sins, and I will heal their land. So if the church humbles ourselves, we get forgiveness and we get healing in our land. So how could God heal the church at large if we don't humble ourselves and recognize, God, we need your grace. We need your favor. We need your strength. We need your wisdom. We need your resources. We need you. at the center of it all. So I think if the church humbles ourselves, we could have our best days that we've ever seen. If we continue to walk in pride, he's opposed to us.
I'm curious, how do you start tackling something as big as pride?
Well, I think it's like, to me, it's like sin. The moment you acknowledge it, it just kind of deflates it. Like sin is this thing that balloons. And the moment you confess it, it just, all the power's gone. So I think I just started to get, good at acknowledging, wow, I'm struggling here, or this is not my best day, or man, if I can be really honest of why I want to accomplish this, it's more for me. And, just starting to be, I think we're so bad at being truthful. And we don't know the hidden agendas of our heart. So it was, when I talk about the quest of becoming humble, I think it's more of even a quest of being honest with ourselves, of where we're at. So yeah, I've always read the Bible. I love scripture. I love daily reading. I love to pray. I love to worship. But I also need to add a couple more things into my life to help me discover, what does this look like? And I think one of them was transparency, vulnerability. It's a cheesy saying, but your authority is in your authority is in your authenticity. Being more authentic and not being so plastic. I think one of the things that people really despise in the church is false humility. It's like all the right words with all the wrong heart. And it's been going on forever. Like Judas is like, why did this money get used for this purpose? Because it could have been used for... He had the right words. He had the wrong heart. He loved money. He was greedy. I saw this clip the other day from John Mark Comer, and he's like, out of, how many years of pastoring, 30 years of pastoring, no one has ever once confessed greed to me. And I think that's so interesting. We think about confessing sin. We think it's like these two buckets, like it's like so limited. But it's like, we got to be honest. Are you struggling with greed? Are you struggling with pride? Are you struggling? Fill in the blank for just being honest with where you're at.
That was Chad Veach. Make sure to check out his new book. I bet you think this book is about you. All right, stay tuned. Up next, we have Would You Rather Holiday Edition. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's Soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Okay, it's, we're post-Halloween, so now we can call it officially, we're in the holiday season, okay? I mean, yes, Halloween's a holiday, so we're in the holiday season. Mm-hmm. We got a few coming up, handful. So we want to do a Would You Rather holiday edition.
Would you rather holiday edition? Like remember.
All right, here we go. Jesse, you ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Would you rather host a holiday dinner for your family or go to someone else's house?
Go to someone else's house. Much less work.
True.
The path to least work is my default.
Emily, would you rather give a gift to everyone you know or receive a gift from everyone you know?
How is this even a question? Obviously, I'm going to receive a gift.
You and I are oil and water. I would rather absolutely be the
Are
gift
you
giver.
kidding me?
I
First
am-
off,
I-
not to brag, but I kind of know a lot of people. So that's a lot of gifts I'd have to get. So I'd rather receive.
I would
a lot
be
of gifts.
uncomfortable with every single one of them.
Yeah,
I would
me
much rather give the gift. Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, they don't have to be like expensive. Just something. I'll take a homemade gift.
I'll be honest. The cheaper they are, the more awkward it gets.
You're okay. There is a fine line. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
I
right.
didn't
The
need
more
this
you think about it.
bar of artisan soap. Gee, thanks. What am I supposed to do with this?
Never going to
Cool.
use this. Never going to use this.
Put it in the guest bath? I don't know. Okay, Jesse, would you rather eat fruitcake every day for a week or never eat your favorite holiday dish again?
Fruitcake. I take a run at it. Seems like it has some nutritional value. Why not? Let's see.
I
What
have
happens.
no
Let's
clue
get
what it
crazy.
tastes like. It looks gross, smells gross. I've never tried it. Have you guys tried it? I've never tried
I didn't
it.
try
I
the
think I
gelatinous
have.
kind. Yeah, I tried one that was kind of breaded, and it was good.
Huh.
It was more cakey,
Interesting.
not like the big glob. And it wasn't bad.
Emily, would you rather spend the holidays in a snowy cabin or on a warm beach?
Ooh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go snowy cabin because while I do prefer the beach, I would not feel like it would be Christmas.
You're
It'd mess
speaking
with
to a
me.
Floridian. I completely agree with you. All right, Jesse, would you rather have a holiday party with a fancy dress code or a pajama party?
If it's a holiday party, I don't mind, looking nice. I'd
Yeah.
go with that.
Pull out the
look like a
pinstripe
nice
suit.
night out, Yeah.
I'm with you. All right, Emily, would you rather have to sing all holiday songs at karaoke or dance to them? Would you rather have to sing them or dance to them?
Okay, this might be controversial. I'm gonna sing them because that's gonna be less awkward than me trying to dance to holiday songs.
Gotcha. Oh, this is an aesthetic choice that I don't think Jesse will have a strong opinion about, but I'm curious. Would you rather decorate your house with only one color scheme or use every color available?
Let's every color. Make it a magic emporium of wonder.
Just an insane asylum. What are you talking about?
No,
every
it'd
color.
be fun. I'd find
Look
a
at
way. I'd find a way.
Kaleidoscope. You're living in a kaleidoscope.
Asylums are literally painted one color.
No,
Don't
I
you,
know. I'm
Cameron?
saying you would be committed to one because you were living in a kaleidoscope.
Wait,
Anyway.
Jesse, does your family decorate for the holidays?
Oh yeah.
course.
Oh yeah. Very
Okay.
much. Yeah.
All right, Emily, would you rather have a pet reindeer or a pet elf?
Reindeer.
What?
That's the oddest decision ever.
I don't know.
You're defeated. It's pooping everywhere. An elf can be helpful. What are you talking about?
I don't know. There's something about having a pet elf that feels wrong. If it can talk to me, I would feel weird.
Of course I can talk.
And it has powers probably, and it can make toys.
Yeah, it's magical.
I think
And
the
it just hangs
reindeer-
out up on a shelf, keeping watching on everything.
The
It's
great
great.
thing
I
about
don't
the
trust
reindeer.
it. See, I think I'm thinking of the mischievous elves. I don't like
Yeah.
that.
The great thing about the reindeer is that when the time comes, you'll have quite a bit of meat on your hands.
I'll say it. I love deer meat. I'm probably going to have some for Thanksgiving this year because I'm going to Arkansas. So
Worst case scenario, you stock up the meat freezer that I'm sure you have.
yeah.
Jesse, would you rather have your holiday shopping done in one day or spend a month finding the perfect gift for everyone?
Well, one day, knock this thing out.
No question.
I mean, that usually is how it goes down anyway.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times I did half my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve because it was like
Yeah.
Oh, once I got Amazon Prime, such a game changer for me.
game changer. No question. I haven't done Black Friday since Amazon. I mean, like literally it's been a decade. Like, why is everybody so stressed out? Just go online. It's fine.
Yeah.
Last one. Emily, would you rather receive a gift you don't want or a gift that no one wants? What's that even mean?
Yeah. That's so hard because I
Was
need
it
an
like a
example.
box of poop? Like what?
Yeah, because
like,
I don't want a box of poop. I will put that out there.
Like a disease? Like what?
Just
What are we
the gift
talking?
The gift
I
that keeps on giving.
I guess I'll take the
Syphilis.
gift that I don't want and then I'll just regift it. I have no shame in regifting.
I do not need this Etch-a-Sketch White elephant next year. Got
I
it.
love
All right.
regifting things.
That'll do it for Would You Rather Holiday Edition.
Would you rather? Holiday edition.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to thank Chad Veach for talking to us today. Make sure to check out his latest book. I bet you think this book is about you. Also, make sure to check out relevantmagazine.com every day, where we are covering the intersection of faith, life, culture, and justice, and a lot more. We got a little something for everybody. Also, make sure to follow us on all the socials and sign up for our daily newsletter. We send you our top 5 trending stories every weekday morning. It's the best way to stay connected with what we're doing. We have a lot coming up. Stay connected. All right. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
We will see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
The more I think about it, just the more weird it is.
Relevant Podcast Network.